Hey friends, how's it going? I checked out the number of subscribers and we're really close to 100. And if you haven't heard, 100 is a magic number for me as far as subscribers go because then YouTube will let me name this channel and I think I can do other things with it and make it more awesome for you. So, if any of you out there, my 94 homies, if you have 6 friends, let them know if you think these videos would help them. Let them know and maybe they'll subscribe. I have thought of a special gift that I want to give out when we reach 100. I'm going to make something special. I will let it be a surprise. But once we get to 100 subscribers, I got something for your ass. So thank you to all of you who have already subscribed. I love you. And if you're new to this channel or if you forgot because I don't post as much as I would like to, I am sober from drugs and alcohol, and I'm talking about how to live a life staying that way and to deal with the crazy brain that got all screwed up while I was out there doing drugs and alcohol. And that was honestly really screwed up before I even started using drugs and alcohol. But now I'm managing it, and life is really awesome, and it's really fun, and it also sucks sometimes, but I don't drink over it, and so that's why I'm here, because I just want to share how I cope and live an awesome life, and hopefully you will live an awesome life as well. You probably already are living an awesome life, but maybe you just want to be a little better. I don't know. Maybe you're just here to point and laugh at me and my fumbling, and that's okay too. Whatever works to make you feel better. I'm here for you. So I want to post about a sucky part of life for me. And it is Noisy Neighbors Part 3, how to deal what the fuck for real, what is happening. So I'm one of those people that's just really super sensitive to sound, and I really fucking hate hearing my neighbors. And I have lived in many different apartments with very thin walls, and these are perhaps the thinnest walls / floor yet. I have some neighbors in the basement that are loud as fuck. It's not even that they're so loud, it's that the walls are really thin and they do like to play music and party, and I can't fucking stand it. And I have been working to manage my mind around this. Because guess what? Despite popular belief and in spite of how many people you might be able to find to agree with you that this is not the case, it is not the noisy neighbors that is causing my suffering. And this is really what I talk about and share, and what I've gotten really interested in. What's really helped me a lot in my recovery is figuring out that my thoughts create my feelings, create my actions, create my circumstances, or my reality. There's no exception. And we have been taught and raised to believe that it's circumstances that cause our feelings, or that feelings just spontaneously arise and we can't control them. So it's very normal to believe that, yeah, this neighbor's playing his music too loud, and so now I'm pissed and it's their fault. But there is no fucking power in that. And I don't know. I still struggle with accepting that fact, or like with figuring out how to change my thinking around this so that it's more acceptable, because there are things that are like easier to feel good about than not. So like if I'm trying to go to sleep and my neighbor's playing their music really loud, that's aggravating. Like that's real. Like it's loud, it's distracting. That's really happening. I'm not denying that. But it's still always what I'm making it mean that's stressing me out more than that music or those sounds or whatever. So I can talk about all that more in depth, and if you watch my videos, you kind of know the gist of what I'm talking about. But some of these pills are harder to swallow than others, right? And I just wanted to share the humanness of it all. Like, just because I'm practicing this managing my mind and this thought work, and it is working, I still have moments where it's like a relapse with my thinking, where I fucking lose it and I have a reaction. And before I know it, in spite of all my best intentions and in spite of all my thinking that I'm going to do something different, I'm fucking on the floor, pounding it out with my fist till it has a bruise, screaming, shut the fuck up. I lose it. And that's okay. It's okay in the sense that, like, I'm not going to beat myself up about it too much. It's an ingrained habit. It's a reaction. Like when we have certain thoughts about certain things and they make us feel a certain way, that's a pathway in our brain that's like a well-worn groove, and it's easy to go there. And so I just wanted to share that reality, because I'm on here talking about let's live a great life. But I'm still very human, and I'm still very much doing this work, and I still fail at it sometimes, or I still struggle with it. So I think in my first video about the noisy neighbors that I posted, I shared with you that I made a vow to not react to them. So I didn't want to go downstairs banging on doors. I don't want to be banging on the floor. I'm not going to complain to the landlord. I'm not calling the cops. Like, I just made a decision not to push against it. I really wanted to let all this like anger and frustration come up and find out what the thoughts were behind it that were causing my suffering so that I can work on them and start to change them. And I've gotten some comments on those videos, and I've struggled with this too, where it's like, well, I would just go down there and tell them to shut up. And that is an option. Like, I have done that before. I have lived in lots of different apartment buildings, and I have done the passive aggressive thing where I found out where the vent was, so it'd be really loud in their place, and I played death metal in the speaker, like up on the ceiling to get the neighbors above me because they were bothering me. I have gone up and complained. I have called cops before. Like, I've done all the things to be like, to exert my will and be like, this needs to stop. But here's what I've learned in doing that. It doesn't fucking work. And you know what's so funny too is like whenever I complain about this shit to my friends, I figured out one of the thoughts that's causing me a lot of suffering is that it shouldn't be this way. Like, people should have more courtesy. We're living in shared space. They should know better. They should do better. And I tell my friends this shit, and everybody's on my side. Everybody's like, oh yeah, that fucking sucks. I have that too. Or my neighbors are the worst. Or, everyone can relate. And so it just struck me today as how funny it was that I'm constantly saying it should be different. And my whole life up until now, and all my friends' lives that I know of, prove otherwise. Like, as much as I think people should be quiet and people should be more polite or whatever, they're just not that way. So I'm like totally at odds with reality, and it's making me miserable when I forget that this is just how it is. It doesn't matter if I think it's right or wrong, and it doesn't matter if I could get a petition and have everybody sign it that says, yeah, neighbors should be quiet at a certain time of night, or all the time, ideally. It doesn't matter because it just isn't that way. And so the best way to feel like serene and centered and in control in this world is to work on my thinking around this. Because guess what else I've learned too? If it's not a noisy neighbor, it's something else. The way that my brain works is it wants to find something to be fucking pissed about. I don't know if that's because I'm an alcoholic and that's just how my brain was wired, or if it's just like what brains do. Like, I know there is a tendency for brains to just look for the negative. So even when I remember there was a time when the other neighbors in this place had all moved out and I was the only one living here, and there were still fucking things pissing me off that my brain would focus on. Like this one lady who would walk in front of my house every morning with her dog, and she was just really annoying the way she talked to the dog. I'm saying this to you because it's kind of embarrassing and it's kind of silly, but this is what I would fixate on, and so it was her. Or if she wasn't out there, then it was these other neighbors 2 doors down, but the acoustics are just such that they're talking on their porch, echoes into my porch, and I couldn't stand that. And when they weren't there, it was people like across the way over there, and I could hear them. Or, it's just always fucking something. And so it's better to just practice your thinking now so that you can like accept whatever is in the world. And that is where like real power and serenity lies. And so that's what I'm working on. So that's why I made that commitment of like, I really don't want to be against these neighbors. I don't want to fight them. I don't want to fucking rage out. I just want to figure out how to find peace with this. And it is possible. And this isn't about being a doormat or like, letting people do whatever they want. Like, I still have choices. I could have chosen to just like really get in their face or fight them or retaliate or get the landlord involved or something if it was really an issue. And that's, if you're dealing with stuff like this too, you might decide that that's necessary. Like if someone, the shit that I'm talking about now is like, I know that it's my own brain just being like neurotic. But if it's something where like there's raging parties at all hours of the night and it's waking up your kids or it's vibrating your walls and you really can't sleep, like you might make different choices to put an end to that. But, it's still helpful to understand that even whatever you decide to do to deal with it, it's still your thinking that is causing you to have a certain feeling about a thing. And so for me, that brings me to like why I would take an action to change it or to just try to deal with it. If I were to try to change it today, I wouldn't like my reason for doing so. It's still like, if you can come up with a reason that you like, you're like, these people are way out of line and I need to put a stop to it to be in line with my values or to, because they're really like encroaching on my space. That's great. For me at this point in the game, if I were to complain, it's just giving in to like my crazy brain, and I don't want to do that anymore. the other thing I've discovered too is like when I have been like those moments where I was really reactive and just fucking flipped out and banged on the floor really loud or stomped on it or screamed or whatever, and the music did turn down, I didn't like who I was in that moment, and I didn't like how that felt to have gotten my way that way. I feel like my thoughts are really scattered, and I apologize for that. I was going to make notes. I've been thinking about posting this video for a while, and I wanted it to be really coherent and like make a lot of sense. But then I realized like days kept passing where I wasn't posting a video, and then I'm losing my natural light. As you can tell, the sun is setting. Welcome fall. And so I decided to just go for it. And so I just wanted to share like kind of where I'm at in the journey. I'm still very human, still fucking up left and right, but still really convinced that the thoughts create the feelings, and I can work on that, and that gives me a lot of power and serenity today. If you have any questions or want me to explain something, or are really interested in this topic and want more videos or whatever, please let me know. Thank you so much for watching. I just hope you're all out there having a wonderful evening and kicking ass with both feet. I love you. I'll talk to you later. Bye.